Welcome to, I believe this is our 5th DaS Symposium. So a little bit of context. The DaS Symposium was founded out of an idea. By the way, for those that don't know, DaS stands for Design and Sustainability. Big D, little a, big S. And there were a number of people here 5 years ago who were very interested in sustainability. We were having conversations at COFES and got together and said, you know, our customers, architects, mechanical engineers, designers, they create the world around us. And it's their work that has the most profound influence on sustainable issues. That's a very big thought. And we provide them with the tools that they need to do their job. So our clients are the people who have leverage, and we provide tools that leverage what they can do. So why don't we get together and talk about what we can do both as individual organizations and as a community to see how we can do a better job at facilitating getting better decisions for our customers to have a bigger impact on the world. And we've fumbled around for 5 years, and every year Ken and I, with several others, try to figure out exactly what we want to accomplish at the DaS Symposium. We have a structure for this conversation this year, and I'm going to give a little bit of introduction about that, and then I'm going to turn the mic over to Ken to kick this off. So I'm going to introduce this backwards before I go through the slides. So we are tool makers. We provide tools to help our customers make better decisions. Those better decisions are drivers that affect industry trends or global trends. And all of that happens within a broader global context. So now I'm going to get to the context part. All of the decisions that are made in some level of context. And all too often, our context is limited by our focus. By our spatial understanding, by the domain that we happen to be in, our time view, and our worldview. The time view is interesting. I had a conversation about our keynote at a New Year's Eve party with some of my neighbors. And the Long Now Foundation is trying to highlight long-term thinking, really long-term thinking, to get people's attention. And one of the projects that they're doing is the 10,000-year clock. So we can start avoiding the Y999 syndrome. You can get a jump on it, among other things. And a good bit of money has been dumped into this project by well-meaning individuals. And the first response that I got is, that's great. We're going to spend $40 million building a 10,000-year clock. Why don't we use that money for something else? You know, we could use more schools, more, feed the homeless. There were a lot of other uses that they could have put that money to. Why do that? And when I started diving down into what these people were thinking, my neighbors, I talked about building for future generations. In order to do that, we really need to start thinking now about how we are impacting things. But the key thing for me was when push came to shove, it turns out that my neighbor's concerns, while these are very well-meaning people, they're concerned with their generation, their kids, and their grandkids, and some of them maybe their grandkids. And for just one couple, they were thinking as far down the road as 7 generations. But who cares about the folks that far down the road after that, which is the general response. And part of the issue is this temporal and world view of what we care about. And, do you care about where we're going to be 100,000 years from now? Do you care about where we're going to be 10,000 years from now, 1,000 years from now, 100 years from now, or, just during your lifetime? So, in terms of context, what we want to do is we want to increase the sustainability and literacy globally, because we want to raise awareness of the broader context of decisions. Now, there are a lot of things that change and move the context. Demographics has a very, very big influence on the context. So do the constraints that we have, our rate of consumption or the draw that we have, the amount of things that we're putting back into the system, so we can increase or decrease the availability of things, and the interconnectedness of everything. So everything is connected to everything else, but not the same way and not the same value. So within that context are global trends and local trends, and those trends are formed and moved by drivers. Availability of oil or power or sun or technology or demographics are all types of drivers, some of which we can control in some ways, some we can influence. But trends you recognize, drivers are the things that have dials attached to them that can be turned, not necessarily easily and not necessarily by us. So when we're thinking about drivers, what's going to change the context of others? That's not a value judgment. That is, how do we affect change, regardless of what that change is going to be? The next part is, what's going to influence the decisions that they make? And this is the level where we can start applying value judgment. So beyond trends and drivers, we have decisions. And ultimately, these are the dials that we as individuals, individual organizations, individual governments, individual people, these are the things that we can control. And we control them by making decisions every day. Now, as I started with this out, we are tool makers. Or we're in the COFES is the Congress on the Future of Engineering Software, and engineering software is a tool set. And we provide tools to make better decisions. And it's in our best interest, it's our business to make tools to support all of this. So we have the context, which is affected by trends and drivers. We have the tools that the dials that we can turn, all of which are supported by tools. And the structure for the day's conversations, we're going to talk for an hour about context with 2 or 3 presentations, short presentations, and then conversation. Then we're going to do the same about trends and drivers. And then for decisions, then we will have a lunch, and Bob Netches from IARPA will be giving a keynote during lunch. And then after lunch, we will go and talk about the tools and the tool business. And with that, I want to welcome you all again to the DaS Symposium as the precursor to our 14th annual COFES, and turn the mic over to Ken.